Boom. I'm leading the show. Boom. Perfect.
Okay, so boom, right? So in life, I don't care. It's so cool to say, I got no regrets, right?
Awesome.
But I'm not too proud to say, I got some regrets. And I feel like I'm not the only one. I feel like it sounds super optimistic and it sounds super cool to say, I did everything right the first time go and I'm invincible, right? Now there's lessons that had to be learned, but then there's some things that just
came out of the blue, blindsided you, nothing you could do.
Didn't need to happen, right? That could have just never happened. So, okay, so boom, past self speaking to future self. Right?
Yeah.
What's your younger self telling you these days?
Oh, my younger
your
self?
Older self talking to your younger self.
If I could go back in time and whisper some knowledge to younger me, I'd say, try harder in school. Don't be afraid. Try hard. I wish I'd have put a little bit more grind in, because even though I'm a big believer that the current system is flawed and that it doesn't really represent intelligence.
You could have done better.
Yeah, I still could have done better, tried harder, and I still could have represented myself better, because it is what we're based off, right, for college and stuff. You're
so right, because back then we don't. Somebody's alarm's going off. I hope that's not me.
Nah,
it's not me. So you said something specifically, and I want to hone in on that because maybe it's the same for you and I. Right? When you said afraid, what do you really mean by that when you were in school?
I don't know. I was just there's just like that clique mentality of that group where you're like, oh, that kid's such a nerd because he actually tries. What's wrong with being the kid that wants to learn? You know what I mean?
The nerds are today's millionaires.
The nerds are today's millionaires, and the nerds are the people that are financially set right now.
Yeah. Do you think that freaking Bill Gates was a cool guy in high school?
Sir. No.
Do you think that Elon Musk was necessarily a cool guy?
No.
Not until he got those hair transplants. It was riding around a Tesla. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nerds getting all of it now. I'm glad that you said afraid, because I think I agree with that, right? If I could go back in time, now self, speaking of past self, I would say stop giving a damn what these people care about, because you'll never see them again.
Exactly. Why did I care what people thought in middle school and high school?
It was so awful.
So stupid.
I would literally walk into a cafeteria. This is how bad my social anxiety was. I would walk into a cafeteria and feel like I couldn't even, like I felt like I was going to dissolve. Like I would let go of my cafeteria tray on the way to my table, just because kids would turn around and look at me. Who are you? Who cares, bro?
Exactly.
And it held me back so much in school, bro. Because I'm just like, why didn't I express myself the way I wanted to? Why couldn't I just be myself? And now I just look like an ass clown, because not only did I not get the good grades, but I did all that for people I don't even know right now.
Exactly. And for me, it was more about fitting in, bro. I just had like this thing. I was real popular in middle school and high school. Not like clique group popular, but everyone knew me, and I was friends with a lot of people, and I was the nice guy that everyone knew. But that shouldn't have been at the top of my priority list, and it was what I was after in middle school and high school. I was more there for the social aspect and the learning aspect, and the only reason I didn't dread going to high school every day was because I got to see all my friends. But you know, half those friends I don't even talk to anymore, don't have any idea what they're doing, what their life is, you know what I mean? And and another thing I would say to my past self is pick good friends, surround yourself with good people.
Facts.
Because I heard it a whole bunch, and I didn't really get what it meant back then. But nowadays I think back to my real ones, and you know who you are, guys. But I think back to those guys, and I'm so glad that I met them and that I spent more time with them and didn't waste as much time with pointless people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And those are lessons that you can use even now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I feel like now people are out there wasting time with the wrong people. Listen, use your gut. You know you're hanging out with the wrong people. You feel it every single day. They're not going anywhere. They're putting off negative vibes, and they're bringing you down. Cut them off. Life is too short. Cut them off. They'll be all right. After you leave, they'll be all right.
Yep. They'll keep doing their thing.
And you know what? You'll be even better. So do that. So when I think about my future self talking to my past self, I would have said to me, kind of going, damn, my neighbors are getting it today. I would say, realize yourself, get to know yourself, and just kind of like forget what anybody's opinion is. Get to know yourself better and work on you. Stop investing so much time into everybody else's dream. I think that I was so busy observing and trying to analyze what was cool and to mimic it in my own flavor or way. And I always felt like a fad would happen and like the cool kids would execute it perfectly. And I was just a step behind.
Yeah.
I felt like I was always a step behind, and it always looked super cringe and awkward. And until I rode my own wave. And I didn't realize that until it was kind of too late. Like, I wish I would have known that back then. You know what I mean? I might have been in a way different spot now.
And that's super wise. That's what I've been thinking about lately. I'm like, work on yourself, dude. I mean, the only person that's going to benefit from it is you. And working and investing time in yourself is the best investment. I don't know why I wasted so much time thinking, oh, these people are cooler than me, or, oh, look, they're out in the Bahamas, you know, living it up. Sure, that's daddy's money. Why don't I think about more important things like how do I make money right
Why
now?
don't I become that daddy?
Exactly. Why don't I be daddy, bro?
Why don't I become that daddy? No, for facts. Another thing that I wish that my now self told my past self is stop putting people on a pedestal. I had such a bad habit of thinking that people are not like me. People don't have problems. People don't have issues. And I am a unique fucked up snowflake, and no one could understand me. Listen, whatever you've ever thought, whatever you've ever felt, whatever you've gone through, somebody else has. You're not alone, even when you think you're alone. And the only reason I thought I was alone is because I put myself in that box. No one put that box over me. I did. I made the narrative that only I've gone through this. Right.
That's super common. I bet tons of people have done that same thing.
Especially when you're a little kid.
Yeah, exactly. You got to realize that we're all in the same struggle, right? We're all in the same boat trying to get by.
Yeah, like if you express something, guaranteed, like my teachers used to say this, they're like, if you think of a question, somebody else is thinking it. And I used to think that was bullshit. No.
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand, bro. Now I have the confidence to raise my hand. Like when I say statements on this podcast, it's not because I'm saying it to be agreeable or disagreeable.
No, that's you raising your hand and asking the question.
Just giving my subjective truth, right? In the hopes, cool. If you find
someone else out there is thinking it too.
Right. Like if you find some type of, I don't know, commonality with what I said, cool. If not, cool. But these days, I have a take it or leave it mentality, right? If you disagree, you can say whatever you want and move on. But I don't really care about that. I care about the ones who think that they're alone in what I said, and who are like, dude, I'm not alone.
Me too.
That's so dope, right? That would have relieved so much tension when I was a kid. If I had just known somebody else, anybody else.
And I think that happens a lot with, you know, just people in general. You keep things to yourself, right? And you keep this in like a personal, private little box when really maybe even your friends or family are struggling with the exact same thing, and you just keeping it to yourself, and the suffering is just staying with you.
Right. Because when you hear that silence, I know that sounds weird, hear the silence, but when all you have is silence, from that silence, you put people on a pedestal. That's what I used to do. I used to say, well, I'm not hearing problems from this person. Well, obviously they're better than me. Just because they're not talking about it, automatically they're better than me, and I'm down here. And I finally stopped doing that. I stopped putting myself below another person's pedestal by not even putting them up there in the first place. Not saying I think I'm better than anybody else, but I'm no longer saying you're unattainable. Done with that. Done with that.
Level your own playing field.
Right.
Stop putting people above yourself. Nobody's above or below anyone. Go about living your life.
Nope. And then also older me would say to realize your worth when it comes to relationships. Because I had such a scarcity mindset where like if I had a girl that was like that I felt like was unattainable and somehow I was in that relationship, I'd be like, oh my God, I don't know when the next time I'm going to find somebody like this. So if I was getting treated a certain way or there were certain situations that would make me uncomfortable, I would deal with that. I would freaking not say anything. I would settle for the situation because I had a scarcity mindset where it's like, I don't know if I'm going to find somebody else like this on their level. And once I broke out of that scarcity mindset, I'm like, no, we're not tolerating that anymore.
For real.
You did what?
Exactly. Who cares?
Take off.
Yeah. One other thing I would say to younger me, if I could, I'd say work harder and play harder. I realized as the years went on that a lot of the sadness that I felt and a lot of the FOMO, the fear of missing out, was because I just wasn't doing anything, bro. Like I was sitting on the couch, binge watching whatever. It didn't even matter. I was just binge watching stupid stuff on a couch, watching TV. And all that depression and sadness that I felt was because I wasn't doing anything. Like if I'd have been out at the gym or hanging out with friends or listening to music while working on a project, I would have felt accomplished. I wouldn't have felt all that. My mind would have been in a different space than picking apart all the little things about my day that went wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like you brought up a great point. I feel like when you kill time, you kill a part of yourself.
Exactly. You're wasting it.
And I feel like that creates a lot of anxiety within yourself because you know that you're betraying yourself. Another thing I would say to pass me is this, right? Now that I'm 30, I'm looking at memories of the past and it literally feels like I could sum up my past years in a day. It feels like it's such a flash because when I was younger, time seemed to slow down, but now time is speeding up. And I'm realizing now I wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
And it's scary. It's so scary to know that you've wasted time. I would say stop wasting time, right? Get up, do something. Easier said than done, right? Because all of us, life is a giant trap. And for some odd reason, no matter how long we've been doing it, we all sometimes fall for the same traps as the previous generation. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, and today was a great illustration of that. Normally, I'm not an early riser, but today I got out of bed, 8 sharp, got ready, got on the bus to get here, and then the universe smacked me in the face by getting my wallet stolen and getting stranded in downtown Honolulu. But you know what? The effort paid off because I had a good friend that came and picked me up. Yours truly.
And part of that, right, is that, again, now self to younger self, little things, right, that you think are little now, they will pay dividends in the end, right? Like the minute that I stopped paying attention to other people and started investing in myself, now that I'm here, I'm looking at my competition, quote unquote, thinking, man, y'all are not self-aware at all. You guys are still clinging on to isms outside of yourself. You don't actually know who you are. You're this ism, you're that ism, but you don't really know who you are if all those things vanish.
Exactly. My favorite quote from, one of them, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I don't believe in fascism, I just believe in me.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So on that note, hey, if anybody's listening to this, it's never too late, right? I started this right before my 30th birthday. I just started something completely new. And it doesn't even have to be this, right? You're freaking sitting there with a bag of Doritos right now. Put it down. Put it down. You're stuck in that shitty relationships.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. What's holding you there except
Who's stopping you?
They have your hoodie. So what? Get it back. Get your hoodie back.
Demand it. I want my hoodie back now.
Get your hoodie back and get your life back. All right. But it starts with that hoodie and it starts with that bag of Doritos.
We're doing a survey around the country on the way population handles themselves and speaks and deals with their friends and interact with their peers.